The more comments that our viewers added to our Simulations, Publications Inc. or SPI Top 10 Games video, the more unqualified we began to feel to make these judgments. However, we'll hopefully remedy that today by compiling your top picks in this viewer's choice Top 10 here on Legendary Tactics. It's clear that many of you have had a wealth of experience with SPI's games. In the comments from our top 10 list, you mentioned 100 games, and we appreciate and respect the time you took to share your stories. So we've compiled all the games you mentioned, and we ranked them according to the frequency and passion with which they were mentioned. If you haven't seen our top 10 Simulations Publications Inc. video, I'll link to it at the top of your screen. A few honorable mentions first. Ones that tied for our 6th to 10th spots include 1. A Gleam of Bayonets, which is an American Civil War game. 2. War in the Pacific, that one's another monster war game. 3. Star Force Alpha Centauri, which is a conjectural future history in a world with telekinetic ships. 4. Wacht dem Rhein, a Battle of the Bulge game. And finally, number 5, and I almost included this one on my own list, Cobra, a simulation of the Allied breakout from the Normandy Peninsula. And if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to our channel yet, stab the sub button to get more content like this, and share this if you have friends who are into classic board games. This video is sponsored by Dark City Games. They're an independent war game company that focuses on small format simple games for either solitaire or small group play. If you're looking for affordable games, check them out. We'll link to their shop at the top. Here we go. Number 5. In 1980, SPI released Citadel of Blood, a game that's still the best dungeon crawler out there according to one of our viewers. This game took the Death Maze system and it added more depth, more variety, and a stronger theme. It essentially turned Dungeons & Dragons into a board game. It's well known for its solo play. Its tile-laying game randomizes the dungeon, and it retains some of the elements of a war game. You'll see lots of tables in order to check on what the monsters are doing. It has good solid bones, and of all the games on this list, I think it's the one that would benefit most from a modern re-imaging with bigger tiles, miniatures, printed spell cards, and a little bit less die rolling and a little bit less randomness. The randomness of the monsters that appeared did detract from the game somewhat, and it does impact the narrative arc of each game, but as a print-and-play dungeon crawler, it was a strong foundation for the genre. The game does encourage players to create or modify their own rule sets right in the rulebook, which sounds to me like an invitation to make this game better. Number 4. The game you mentioned fourth most was Swords and Sorcery. This one came out 2 years prior to Citadel of Blood, but its mechanics were more reminiscent of War of the Ring, which we covered in our other SPI video. Whereas the top 3 games coming on this list focus on accuracy and precise simulation in monster-style war games, Swords and Sorcery was different. It drew its appeal from its imaginative combination of fantasy elements like killer penguins and the New York City with the traditional SPI Zones of Control style game with a combat results table. At times, it was a tongue-in-cheek kind of game with characters like Logarithm, son of Algorithm, and its locations like the notorious hills of Avalon. Now, one of the coolest features of this game was the solar display, which impacted the power of magic. I just thought that was a really cool idea. Number 3. Air War, Modern Tactical Air Combat, is one of the few games that consciously marketed itself as an ultra-complex simulation of every facet of modern aerial combat. Its triple-columned, 48-page, tiny-fonted rulebook brags that it's both mechanically and conceptually complex with long, intricate rules. I mean, it doesn't even really sound like they're trying to sell this game to us, but some players recall spending 4 hours real-time in order to simulate 4 seconds in a dogfight. In the end, this was a game that focused on the minutiae of aircraft control. I think today most players would only ever consider playing a game like this with a computer handling all the details, and I think that's why after 1980, most of the players from this game probably took up the early flight simulators on their PCs. On to number 2. In 1976, SPI released a monster board game, War in Europe, which provided an integrated linkage between 2 other games, War in the East and War in the West. Some of you pointed out that this was a bit of a shotgun marriage in terms of games, but it brought this epic sprawling feel to the games by linking them. And it certainly is another beast with 3,600 counters and 9 maps. And according to Jay Hartley, it was a 43 square foot map. I haven't measured it, but I'm going to trust him. A game like this makes me really wonder if board gamers were actually smarter back in the 70s and 80s, or if we were just more certifiably insane to try tackling games like this. Let me know in the comments what you think, and if you think games like these will ever make a comeback. Number 1. One game that we completely missed on our list and that you fervently mentioned is another Jim Dunnigan design, War in the East, the Russo-German conflict 1941 to 1945. This game from 1974 covered the entire war on the Eastern Front in World War II and had 2,400 units, and it took about 2 weeks to play. For the Russian player, the focus of the decision-making is on how to allocate resources to produce particular units. Whereas for the Axis, the units were regenerated at a steady rate, not so for the Russians. The real value and joy of SPI Games, though, comes from their accuracy and their depth. To really immerse yourself in a game at both a tactical and ground level, you had to spend time with the game, and with each decision. It was amazing to see the number of games that were mentioned in the comments. You mentioned over 100 of them, and discussed them with great fondness and memory. And for all this, we owe a debt of thanks to SPI, and also to you for taking the time to leave a comment. As ever, if you have memories of playing these games, we appreciate hearing about them.